has got me concerned about aeration of the soil underneath, storage of things, and we are going to talk with Tilton Construction. In fact, when's your next, roughly next week, or is it this week? So we're about a week and a half away that we expect when we come back here have an action plan from Tilton, how they're going to protect the remainder. I don't mind the idea, because I really do want to focus on this one project, as whether you pursue ordinances or not, is if you have someone who can hit the ground running and is qualified and has insurance to go on there and can speak for your community, like Dale, or I don't know if there's other, excuse me, competitors, but if our contractor has someone we can get over here in 5 minutes as opposed to 45 minutes, I'm open to that. Whether we do it on hourly or retaining, fine. But to get a call in, Tilton right now, again, this is a person, he's a contractor. I want him to be able to say, if in doubt, get this person over here. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, okay, what you're saying though is that there is no on-site oversight.
Well, there actually is from Tilton, a full-time, there's an inspector of mine, but he's not he knows construction.
Right.
He doesn't know trees. They've got a full-time superintendent. He knows construction, but he doesn't know trees. I don't want Fox Garden in-house, whether it's my staff or this guy. He just may not know. It looks like a little route to him. And he's talking about cutting them at an angle and hormones. Those contractors are not going to know that. I need to have someone to be able to say, if you've uncovered this, you stop and we'll call someone. But I don't want to wait 2 hours of lost time in the construction. We need someone up here.
Can I make a suggestion? I think
We're running out of time. We've got about 4 minutes left.
There's a few things going on. I think an ordinance is good for us to work on, but for this specific situation, are we going to want to hold someone accountable? And then we also have the issue of protecting the trees that are there. So what we might need to do as a council is, there's obviously a lot of very interested and knowledgeable people here today in our community. Maybe we could put a committee together and help us decide what we should do about this. It sounds like we should take action. That, you know, this is, and the county is admitting that they dropped the ball. They said it more than once. And somebody needs to be held accountable. And there needs to be some plan to protect those trees that are there. And I think maybe we could get some verbiage from some of our members in the audience of what the task of the committee would be. I think that's a good idea.
Would you guys be willing to work in that kind of configuration?
We call an arborist. The report says this tree is not going to make it. It had nothing to do with the contract, the largest one. What accountability? It's confirmed. It turned to sawdust.
We had no notification, for one thing.
I see.
See,
There's another.
See, you folks, you guys on the MCMAC need to come up with a resolution and a recommendation today. Linda, you're expressing pretty much what I was thinking, but you're the conduit. You need to come up with something today to stop the project until there is some consensus on where you go from here.
I want something stopped on the downed wood, because I was on the phone at 8 o'clock last night to Kern County Library person Diane Duquette. I mean, she's out on medical leave for the week, and I'm talking with her at 8 o'clock at night. We had a nice, good conversation, and she mentioned something, because she's been involved with this for years, that somewhere in that 300-page document, there's a clause in there that says if a tree has to be removed for, due to the construction here, that the wood, the good wood of that tree would be utilized in the interior furnishings of our new library. And, I'm hearing, I talked to Mark at 3 o'clock today, he called me, and he assured me that he had talked to Curtis, don't do anything with the wood, don't send it off to the back 40s.
Well, it wasn't
and then
Curtis,
I'm
it was
hearing that,
Curtis,
where is the wood, is it secure, do we have time, can we do a discovery before the wood
First of all,
goes
let me
away?
clarify. We talked to, is groundbreakers. It wasn't Curtis, so I think it was Mike. And we said, don't even move a single piece. Don't do anything with where it is. I think you said it's in Norman. You knew more about that from Curtis than I did. Give us 2 weeks to find out what this group wants tonight so that we can move forward. And I still hold true to the idea that, you know, to see what constructively can be done with the remains. The big issue though, and I don't think I can say this any stronger, not one other tree is in the dead of night contemplated, nor arbor study undergo, not one more tree is going out.
Okay, well, that may be true, but they could still be impacted. They could be impacted by what's going on here in the construction. So what I'm saying
Which
is-
goes back to my comment, I
Right.
appreciate contact with people who know what they're talking about, are in your community, and can get over there quick so we can keep the project from being held. That would help.
Is there any,
I would like to make a motion on that suggestion. Putting, the only reason needed that I hesitate to make a resolution tonight is because I don't want it to be too sloppy, and I wanted to cover what we wanted to cover. And I'm thinking that maybe what we could do, once the committee comes up with a solid resolution or some action that we can take, or a recommendation for an action, come back to a special meeting, maybe, before our next monthly meeting, and make a decision at that point.
He gave us 2 weeks to figure out what to do.
Oh, I can extend it. I just told them, at least for 2 weeks, stop. Don't
Okay.
move things around.
Okay.
Don't take it off to the landfill. Don't touch the stuff.
I'm going to trust you on that
I make
one.
a motion to create a committee that will address this oak tree concern and come up with some kind of recommendation for an action within 1 week.
oh, that's
Well, we're
That's
talking
a lot
about doing
more.
it tonight, I mean.
I think you're gonna have, if you're talking about, somebody gonna second that? Anybody gonna second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, all right, so, we have a motion to form a committee to look into,
And I would like that committee to include community members and at least 2,
okay, and what about you individually? Would you guys be willing to be part of this committee and everything?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Right now, I need someone knowledgeable about the trees. And
Do we have somebody in the audience, an arborist, that'd be willing to sit on this committee?
He's talking about the trees. They gotta continue the project. When you're talking about the wood is something else.
No, I'm not
He's
talking
saying you're
about,
gonna run into another situation with
please, no.
trees.
We're talking about procedures to end up dealing with and protect what we have going forward here, okay? Because
I
we have
understand
trees
he
over
can't
here
put
now.
his project on hold for 2 weeks while you're doing this.
And a committee put together to deal with the issues of the wood, and that could all be rolled into one thing to come back. And you're gonna have to have some time, because I think it's, yeah.
How about a
Wait,
tentative suggestion in 2 weeks?
I think that if you're gonna put a
It
hold on
works.
the construction and grading, I don't see any reason why you could do it the next meeting. Anything around any of the trees.
They're thinking you got a hold on construction.
No, they're not. They're saying in regards to additional trees.
What I'm talking, Warren is up, as I mentioned earlier, is one of our architects on staff, but he's also the architect who's going to come up in the meetings, so that you have time to breathe and really thoughtfully prepare that, is to sit down with Tilton before our next meeting with them, but to give the overprotection procedures to the remaining trees, the aeration of the soil, get the equipment away from it, and I think whoever you would like to come by the site to see if in fact that is occurring, no problem with that. We will establish,
Thank you.
I'll have Warren contact them and make sure that we do the protection